My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Pompeii. Now, this movie got terrible reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 27% from the critics and a 34% from the audience. It is hated. And I remember back in February 2014, I believe, and I went into this movie with very low expectations. But I left quite surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. I never got the hate it received. But plenty of time has passed, so I just rewatched it for the first time. And I still really like this movie. I think it's underrated. I think it's far better than its reputation would have you believe. I think this movie is a lot of fun. It's not perfect, but still definitely worth watching. My favorite aspect of this movie is how it starts off as a melodramatic period piece and how it transitions into a gladiator movie and then it transitions into a disaster movie. It's a movie that progressively gets more interesting. It's a movie that progressively gets better. And I think the action in this movie is legitimately really good. I have lots of issues with Paul W.S. Anderson's editing style, but those issues are nowhere to be found here. This movie is exciting and thrilling when it needs to be. You feel the stakes, you feel like anybody could die at any point, and in the last act, it is just non-stop. Like, it's just edge of your seat, exciting, thrilling, tension-filled action, and I just love it for those reasons. Speaking of Paul W.S. Anderson, I also think he did a good job with the production of this movie. The costumes, the production design, and the visual effects all look great in my opinion. And I love lots of what this movie is exploring about the government, the systems in place back then. You know, it focuses on a slave and just how terribly treated he is, how unfair they are to him. But then you also see the other side and you realize that even the powerful people don't got it much better. Like, they are in a prison, in a different type of prison. And I really like how this movie explores that. And you can just see and feel the evil that's rising. It's just a very well done movie when it explores the politics of this time. And I think you've got yourself a very solid cast. Kate Harington, he's great as Jon Snow, but he's never really taken off in movies, but I feel like he does a real good job here. He's able to bring that stoicism to this character incredibly well. He's likable, he's a badass. I was impressed with what he brought to this movie. You've also got Emily Browning, who delivers maybe my favorite performance of her career here. She doesn't have the most material to work with, but I still think she elevates it. She's just so charming and likable, and she does what she needs to. You've also got Idoa Akinnuoye-Agbaje, who I think is great in this movie. He really hasn't taken off in Hollywood as much as he should, but I was really impressed with his performance. He just has that screen presence to him. He can command the screen whenever he needs to. A really great job. You've got Jessica Lucas, who I thought did a perfectly fine job. Jared Harris, who I liked. Carrie-Anne, who I thought did a good job. Sasha Poise, who I think is good in this movie as well. But the standout performance is Kiefer Sutherland. This guy just chews up the scenery. It is a very loud performance, but oh my goodness, he just completely delivers. This guy is a despicable scumbag and he just fully goes for it. I really liked what he brought to this movie. So yeah, I think this movie's well made. I think it's exciting and thrilling and it's got some great aspects to the script. It's well acted. I do still got a few issues though. The first one is that the first half of this movie can drag quite a bit. I wish it had a bit more energy to it. I wish it was maybe a bit tighter and a bit better written. But then we get to the big complaint of this movie, which is I needed more of the romance. Like, it's kind of like Titanic. A slave falls in love with, the upper class, and I like everything it's trying to do, but we just don't see these two characters on screen together enough. Like, you get a little bit at the start, and then maybe a couple other moments, but not enough to the point where I believed they were in love. And that is the emotional foundation of this movie. So, despite how much I enjoyed everything else, I think this element could have been done much better. That said, though, the ending shot of this movie is still so powerful just based on the idea alone. Like, I really love how this movie ends. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. It's not perfect, it's flawed. I wish the romance was done better, but it's far better than you've been led to believe. Go into it with an open mind, and I think you'll have a good time. So I'll give Pompeii a 7 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Pompeii? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.